It's the Eagle Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Welcome to the Forum on Eagle Communications Television. I'm Mike Kerner, along with Phillip Kuhn this week. We want to talk to you about Oktoberfest that's coming up. It's hard to believe we're talking about Oktoberfest already, but it's only like a few weeks away, really.
Yeah, actually less than 6 weeks away, yeah.
So we've got the Oktoberfest coming up October 11th and 12th. And I say 2 days because I don't know if a lot of people realize, Phillip, there are 2 days this year.
So after last year, we decided that we wanted to extend it to a second day and extend the activities and the welcome to all the people that come into our community.
Well, what we'll do is we'll get into details on the Oktoberfest here in just a moment, but Phillip Kuhn, NCK Tech, grew up around Hayes. You went to Oktoberfest since you were a little kid, probably.
Oh yeah. I always enjoyed coming out and seeing the German heritage and finding out where we came from and what everything was all about, and you can't beat having a good beer rock and galushki every once in a while too.
Yeah, a lot of people enjoy the food, and you are a culinary tech, or actually a culinary instructor at NCK Tech, and you've done that for quite a few years now. Yeah,
this would be going on my 6th year now. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun and teaching people how to cook and really enjoy food.
So is that one of your staples, beer rock? Show them how to do it?
Yeah, so we actually utilize Oktoberfest week for the NCK Tech drive-through. So we will sell beer rocks out of there. So the kids usually make about 2,000 beer rocks, green bean dumpling soup, probably 50 gallons, and Spitzbuben cookies, and sell them out of the drive-through.
So are a lot of the kids that are in the culinary arts program from the Hayes area, and they knew about this beforehand, some of these German recipes, or are they from out of town and they've never heard of this before?
Actually, they're all from, a lot of them are from out of town. So when they come in, we prep them even when they get to tour that Oktoberfest and what we do, because it's a big fundraiser for the culinary arts students and NCK Tech. But no, a lot of them don't know what a beer rock is or how to make one, nonetheless. So.
And so you had to show them how to do this. And if you look back on your recipe from when you first made a beer rock in your life, it's probably different than the way you make it now.
A little bit. I actually grew up, I had a great Aunt Vi Wassinger that she was a caterer here in Hayes. So yeah, the beer rock recipe, I kind of just morphed one into my own, but it's been a really neat process so far.
So you make a lot of beer rocks and you make a lot of the green bean dumpling soup. How long or how soon before Oktoberfest do you start working on this?
Oh, at least a week in advance. They'll start prepping out ingredients and doing the calculations to understand the quantities. We actually develop an entire kind of section around it so they understand food costs, labor costs, and what actually goes into catering something like this.
So that's kind of what you teach them at NCK Tech, the culinary arts program. You teach them not just how to cook, but everything else that goes along with running a business that might be related to a restaurant or food service.
Absolutely. I think it's very important. And one of the first things I always ask the students when they come in is what do you want to do with this? A lot of them want to own their own business, so it's important to understand menu recipes and the cost that's developed through that too.
And there's a lot of other things to running a restaurant than just the food costs.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think they realize that sometimes.
No, not at all.
Do you also in their program talk to them about like inspections and how that all occurs and those things that you have to look out for and paying your taxes and all those other little things that come along with the business?
So the first thing before I even allow them into the kitchen, I go over safety and sanitation. It's a big thing. We get them ServSafe certified. So we go over the sanitation, and then we hit those things like the costs the hidden costs that they might not necessarily know or see up front.
So if somebody wants to enroll in this program, or maybe they know somebody out there that just has a knack for cooking and want to do that for a living, they can enroll in the program. And does it start all the time, or is it just one time a year where you start your program?
So we start in the fall, and it's a 9-month program, so it ends in the May. So you have to sign up before the fall semester.
So you've got new students every year, basically.
Every year, yeah.
So and that's And you've been doing this how long now?
This will be going my 6th year.
6th year, and you probably have heard all the questions, or maybe they're all the same questions too.
You know, you get a different group and a different level of interest. Some might like to bake, some like to cook, some like to see the business side. So it's always interesting. I always like tweaking the curriculum to them.
That's what I was going to ask you next. If you see a flow going one way towards baking, you go that route, or maybe towards maybe something else, maybe an artistic side.
Generally, I do have to hit the basic concepts, but if I have an individual that's really going to flourish in that maybe that baking portion, then yeah, I spend more time making sure that they get that knowledge so they're successful when they get out.
And we should probably tell everybody, if they haven't heard, there's a business in town called The Press, and you and the students basically run that business, and it's teaching the kids how to run a business through this place called The Press. It's a restaurant. You make sandwiches and all kinds of items.
So actually the Press is owned by me, and the students don't actually work there. Yeah, so
but you have students that work there.
So after they graduate, they have the opportunity to come and they apply, and they'll actually hire on, especially students that might need a little bit more time or practice before they go out into the industry. We'll definitely hire them on and give them those skills that they need.
Well, we want to talk more about the Oktoberfest and get into the nuts and bolts of it, and I think I want to do that here in the second half of the show. So if you hang with me, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back and we'll go through all this Oktoberfest, because there's a lot of changes in this year's Oktoberfest. So we'll get to all that next after this break from Hayes Med.
Hayes Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hayes Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hayes Med, helping people be healthy.
Have you considered the value that quality video content can bring to your business? Mid-America Productions can provide professional visual media to effectively engage your target audience. We're a full-service video production company serving Salina and surrounding regions for over 35 years. Whether you need videos for promotion, sales, training, fundraising, or other purposes, our experienced team can deliver for you. Find us online at mapvideo.net. That's mapvideo.net.
Welcome back to the forum. I'm Mike Kerner in for Gary Shorman this week. By the way, if you have a show idea Gary would like to hear from you, it's gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. So again, gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. And Gary would love to hear from you. If you've got a show idea or maybe a suggestion for the show, we'd like to hear from you. Phillip Kuhn from NCK Tech is with us today. He's also on the board for the Oktoberfest in Hayes.
Correct.
And you have been planning this, not just you, but a whole board has been planning this since last year at the end of the Oktoberfest.
Yep, we when one ends, we take about a month break, and then we start in on planning the next year.
Well, I know there's been big changes this year. What prompted these big changes? Because I know for a long time you've always had it as one day, but this year you're doing it in 2 days, and there's other things that are kind of playing off of it, actually.
So we've always wanted to add different things to Oktoberfest, but we've always had kind of a time issue with one day. The second day also allows for more people of the community to come out to Oktoberfest, because I know that when I was growing up, the town would shut down for Oktoberfest, but with commerce and business nowadays, that doesn't happen. So having a second day on Saturday and really making it more family oriented allows for more people to come out.
Will there be a lot of changes on the Friday Oktoberfest as in years past?
So no, on Friday it's pretty well the same. We're going to have the same dignitaries come out. The mayor always taps the keg. You'll see Nick Worth and Janelle Moore up on stage. We'll have Ron Worth and Joe Dozal be playing throughout Friday. I think one of the major changes, we've added a band, Mike Love. He'll be performing on Friday, but other than that, we'll still have a lot of beer and a lot of food.
So what are the hours on Friday?
So we'll open up at 10, and then it'll go until 7. We won't tap the keg until probably about 11:30 or 11:45.
So that's the Friday festivities, which we've seen in the past. But Saturday, you've added a Saturday to it this year. And if people couldn't get away on a Friday, they can come down this year. They can have food. And also the parade kind of ties into it a little bit. We've got a parade this year, which is the homecoming parade for Fort Hays State University.
So absolutely. So when we were planning this, we really took in consideration Fort Hays' activities and what was going on that day. So we've been in constant communication with them. So we decided that what we would do is have the Fort Hays Parade kind of kick off the festivities, and then after the parade is done, then we'll open the doors to the second day of Oktoberfest.
So what time does the parade start then?
I believe that the parade starts around 10 usually.
Okay, so we've got a parade this year, and then once that finishes up, Oktoberfest grounds open up, and then people can have lunch down there on Saturday, and then if they want to, I guess go over to the Fort Hays football game.
Absolutely, absolutely. We also do the German market in the morning, so that's something that's continuing from last year. The only difference is that we partnered with Downtown Hays, and they're going to have it underneath their pavilion this year.
So that'll happen in the morning, and I know that some of the businesses around town in Downtown Hays will have specials and do special sales during that as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you've really tied the Oktoberfest into the community a little bit more than it has in the past.
Yeah, and that's really what we wanted to do going forward is see how we can help other business, because it's a great weekend for all of us, really.
So it's 2 days. It is the Hays Oktoberfest, October 11th and 12th, and you have a website people can go to and check out the complete agenda and times.
Yep, HaysOktoberfest.com.
All right, anything else that I haven't touched on that you'd like to mention and share with us today?
No, I think the one thing that we do like to say is that nothing would be possible without all of our sponsors. So we thank all of them and all the support from the community and even the people of the community coming out and enjoying themselves that day.
Very good. So the Hays Oktoberfest coming up October 11th and 12th. And you said that one of the big sponsors, you've got one big sponsor that kind of helps out the whole Oktoberfest?
Yes, John's Fencing.
All right.
He's our name sponsor this year.
Wanted to make sure we got that in too.
Right.
Thanks, Phillip. Phillip Kuhn with NCK Tech and also the Hays Oktoberfest. Again, October 11th and 12th, 2 days this year. I want to thank you for joining us today on the forum. I'm Mike Kerner in for Gary Shorman. The forum is brought to you by Hays Med. Thanks a lot.